Right, I think we'll get this show on the road. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Darren Hepburn. I'm the Operations Director for NewZapp Communications. And today, this webinar is all about our brand new feature, which is surveys. We're going to take a look at creating your first survey inside the platform and how to distribute that through your various channels, whether it be email or any other channel you prefer. And then we're going to take a look at the reporting side, what you can gauge from the feedback from your contacts and the survey recipients. If you've got any questions at all as I'm going through the demonstration, please do pop your hand up or inside your Zoom area there, and I'll be able to see that and answer that question for you as we go along. Right, let's do the obligatory screen share. So, NewZapp surveys came around as a request from many of you NewZapp users who are currently probably using one or two platforms for all of your communications, using NewZapp for your email sending, using WhatsApp for shorter private messaging, using Question Pro or something like that for your surveys. So we thought we'd make your life a lot easier and bring surveys into the mix, into your email platform. So you've got a one-stop shop for all these sorts of communications. So how do we send a survey inside NewZapp? Once you log in, we go to our create and send area, and we'll now see what was once 3 choices is now 4 choices. You've still got the email area, which is the primary setting for this area. You've got landing pages, we've got surveys now, and you have QR codes there as well. So let's take a look at some surveys. Once we click here, we can see all of the surveys that have been created inside this account, and we can see 2 or 3 here that I've already put together. And I have a number of choices from this particular screen. I can turn them on and off, i.e. there'll be no more results or no more opportunity for responses by your recipients if they have access to that particular link. I can see how many questions are on that particular survey. I can see the number of responses. I can edit that survey, maybe change the questions, change the layout, something like that. I can distribute it via email inside your NewZapp platform. I can take a look at the results, or I could grab the link for that particular survey for distribution in other channels, be it Teams, WhatsApp, social media, anything like that. And I can also, with the 3 dots, I can rename it, I can create a copy of it, or I can archive it so it's no longer available. Let's start with a brand new survey. We click up here in the top right, and we come through here to a selection of pre-built surveys that are, some are ready to go and some are completely blank, so you can start to fill in your own information. What you see here will be from feedback from you as NewZapp users. So if you do want to see more surveys, templates in this particular area, have a word with your account manager and those account reviews, saying it'd be handy if we had one of these, or if we had a fixed layout that was set like this. All of that feedback comes to us, and that's how you end up with more templates in this library. We have employee net promoter surveys, standard net promoter surveys, product feedback surveys, product market fit surveys. All of those sort of things can be clicked on. All of the questions in there on those surveys are pre-built, so you can maybe just give them a slight rewording to make them fit what you're looking to achieve. Change the logos, change the headers, that sort of thing. But for now, I'm going to start with a completely empty survey. And I'm going to call it survey. And we hit create survey. Similar sort of layout to what we experience when it comes to creating an email inside NewZapp. We have the left-hand side of the screen, which is all of the elements that you can add to the survey. Unlike the email editor, we've got some other items here on the right-hand side of the editorial area, which controls styles, looks, layouts, themes, conditions and logic, and thank you pages, everything that we'll discuss in a little bit more detail as I move on here. So what have we got? We've got radio button groups, rating scales, checkboxes, drop downs, multi-select drop downs, yes, no booleans, rankings. These are all the standard things that you can see on a survey that you might have been a recipient of, or if you use another platform, you'll have seen all of those sort of things, familiar titles and icons there. Single line input, long text and multiple text boxes. These are for areas where you want your respondents to actually type something, whether it be their names or their email addresses or comments or anything that relates to the survey when they're giving their opinion. Panels and dynamic panels, quite interactive areas along with single select matrix and multi-select matrix, giving your respondents an opportunity to have something that's quite responsive, quite visual, and a little bit more entertaining than the standard yes/no sort of answers. So let's put together a quick survey now. We can do it a number of ways. We can either click on the one that we want to add, or we can pick it up and drag it across. If I click on single line input, it will add there now, and now I've got the basis of my survey. So I can give it a title. Let's be topical. Election opinions. Question 1. We can change the name of this question, and let's call it name. Then the person can enter in their answer there. Let's add another one. Let's add another single line input. Let's call that email address. And again, they can pop in some information there. Let's add a yes, no below that. Like I say, you can click on these and it'll add it to the bottom of the questions, or if you pick it up, we can walk it across just like we can in the email editor, and we can drop it when we see the blue line. We can drop it directly below, we can drop it in between, or for complete mobile responsiveness, we can also drop it to the left or to the right of any question that we have. I'm going to drop this one below. We can say, are you going to vote today? And that's a yes, no, sliding across there. Then we can add another single line input, maybe for example. And we can say something like, oh, okay, why not? Interesting sort of question you'd ask in a survey, but this is going to be based on what we call conditional logic. So this question is only going to appear if our survey respondent clicks no on this particular survey. So how do we achieve that? We achieve that over here in conditions. So we can say, make this question visible if, and we can say, question 3 equals no, apply. So we've just built our first little piece of conditional logic. And you can do the exact vice versa. If they click yes, you can maybe ask a different question. Single line input. Interesting. Who are you going to vote for? Ridiculous question. No one's ever going to actually tell you that. But again, over here, make this question visible if question 3 equals yes. So now we have 2 questions that are hidden and will only appear based on the answer that's on the question above. Rating scales is another one we can add. We can click on here. How do you feel about the election? We have a sliding scale here of currently 1 to 5. We can add numbers. We can add it all the way up to 10. We can also change it to stars, or we can change it to smiley faces. We can take one away. So now we have a series of smiley faces on there, and so on, and so on, and so on. You can keep on adding and removing questions to this area as you see fit, depending on the questions that you're looking to get answers from your recipients. If it's getting a bit long, you can also make it onto 2 pages. So they can click on next and back when they're going through all of that questioning and answers that you're looking to achieve. We can add our own logos to these surveys. And there we have now. We're starting to beginning to brand up our particular survey. So that is a real quick whistle-stop tour on dragging across some questions onto your survey, setting up some very small conditional logic. Now, our account management team here have put together some extensive guides on our help system, which you can always access up here under the question mark. Go to the NewZapp knowledge base, look at the surveys area. It'll show you some more advanced conditional logic. It will show you some more advanced areas of creating your own themes and your own brand and your own color schemes and your own layouts. Today, I just want to give you a really brief overview of this brand new feature, so I'm not going to delve too deeply into those sort of areas. And the team here are always available on the phone or on email. When you're putting together your first survey, they'll be able to walk you through all of those steps, so you're not left in the lurch when you're putting together your first survey. So let's just say, for example, I'm quite happy with this survey now. It's all pretty much ready to go. I can do a number of things at this point. I can take a look at it to see how it will look in real life. And click on preview. And we've got our questions. You will note that question 4 and 5 are not there on the preview. They are not there because I haven't answered question 3 yet. It's only when I answer question 3 do I get question 4, and it pops in, and vice versa as well. If I said yes to that, I would get the other question asking me who I want to vote for. So there is some of that conditional logic in action. Themes. This is where you will be making all those changes to brand and coloring, changing the layout, changing the style, changing the color of the header, changing all of the layouts of the headers in that respect, changing the background colors, everything here, almost building like a little mini website for your surveys when you're putting them together. Logic. This will give you a brief overview of the logic that's running on your particular survey. At the moment, we've only got the 2 items of logic. If question 3 is false, make question 4 visible. If question 3 is true, make question 5 visible. So you can start to make amendments or delete and add to all of your logic for this particular survey in here. Copy link gives you that URL for this particular survey. So it doesn't have to travel inside NewZapp. You can get the link, which is very specific to this particular survey, and share it on your teams, share it in Viva Engage, share it on your SharePoints, your internal networks, private, public Facebook groups, LinkedIn pages, anywhere. It's a completely public URL, so you'll be able to share it on in that respect. And then we have distribute as well. Distribute is if you're wanting to send this email via NewZapp. So once you've clicked on distribute, you arrive at this screen here, and you've got your URL. So I can copy that. And let's say, for example, just pop it in a web browser. And there it is. There's my survey. Like I say, Teams, Yammer, WhatsApp, you can put that absolutely wherever you like. The other opportunity and option you have is to hit distribute. That will then open up our familiar email editor. And you've got a nice little pre-built piece of copy with a button which is already linked back to that survey. And so now you can start to build an email just like you would in every day. So you can drop in a header and add an header image. If you've got your modules inside your account, you can drag those and you can drop those across and build yourself a nice little branded email ready for distribution. I can take that away. Let me click on next. Today's survey, because it's the name of the email, from name, team. Next, skip proof, select my group, next, skip QR code, and then send. It's just as easy as that. So we've built our first survey and we've sent that one through exactly in the same methodology that we would do if we were sending a regular campaign. Let's say, for example, I actually want to put that survey on an email that I've already got half written. or an email that I'm going to build up from a previous campaign. So here's a draft I've got on my account, and I can click on Edit Draft. And I've got my template here that I'm working on. I can add my button, as I would do, and change the text of the button. Complete survey. Now you'll see here now there's an extra choice in our link options. We've always had the URL there, and we've always had link to document, link to campaign, link to landing page, but now we've got link to survey. So that is building an email, building a survey, I beg your pardon, and sending it out via email. Let's look at the next stage of our surveys, and that's the results. So over here, we can see I've sent that email out and it's had 2 survey responses already. It's got 6 questions. This one below has got a few more responses. So let's take a look at the results. And this is the first screen that you'll see for the results for your surveys. What we have here is the answers to some of these questions. Text answers appear as a word cloud. So if you are sending emails out to thousands of people and you're asking them for their opinion, for example, you'll be able to get a nice word cloud overview of, and then which will give you the ability to cherry pick the key phrases and the key messages that all of your respondents are saying. Bigger the word, the more people are saying it. Or you can change it into a text as a table, and it will change like that. And change like that. What do you think of this survey video? This one was a gauge, but we can also change it down into bullets. So at the moment, this particular survey is getting a 6.4. What did you like most about this particular? This is a survey about my survey video. So rather a bit of a loop. A lot of people are saying they like the content. Some people are liking the presenter. Some people are saying they like the speed. How dare they? There should be more votes for the presenter, in my opinion. What would you do differently? Change the content, change the presenter, change the speed. So there's lots of answers here. And all of these relate back to this particular survey. They are the answers. First name, what did you think of the survey video? Oh no, what didn't you like? That's a piece of conditional logic. How does that work? Make this question visible if question 2 is less than 3. This is question 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I'm looking at this survey, if I click up here, I won't get question 3. If I click down here, I will get question 3. And so then people can give that feedback, and you can see that in that word cloud. Back to our results. Nice graphical view here that you'll be able to take snippets of to put into other reports. And if you want everything in a tabular version, a tablet version, table version, you'll be able to export it here from Excel or down in CSV. So like I say, a really whistle-stop tour around all of the areas of surveys. Other questions people ask about surveys, are they anonymous? Yes, they are. So you can give your respondents the confidence to respond to surveys. All you can see about the response numbers here is a numerical figure of how many people have responded. And inside your reports, if you do send this email via NewZapp, you'll be able to see that someone has at least opened the survey and maybe they have clicked on the survey, but you will not know their responses to the survey. So they are 100% anonymous. If you don't want to send an anonymous survey, you would be sending a survey pretty much like this, which is asking for that person's name and email address. Then, of course, it's no longer anonymous because their answers are going to be stamped next to those bits of details. So you've got that nice little bit of confidence to make sure that you're getting the appropriate answers from your recipients rather than just telling you answers that they want to hear. So that is it. That is the whistle-stop tour of NewZapp surveys. We've taken a look today at where you can find your surveys, where you can start to build your first email, whether from a completely blank template or from one of the pre-designed, pre-built surveys that we've put inside your account for you. Like I say, if you do want to see more in there, please feed that information back. NewZapp lives on feedback. You know what we like. If enough of you have a great idea, it ends up inside NewZapp. That's exactly why surveys is in here. It was driven by you, the customer. So if you want particular layouts and particular styles adding to the account, please let us know. We've had a look at the editor for surveys. We've had a look at the drag and drop method of adding questions or just clicking on the items themselves. We've taken a very, very brief look at conditional logic. It's quite the beast. So when you are putting those together, do give us a shout, and one of our account team here can help just be over your shoulder while you're building that conditional logic. We've looked at distribution. We've looked at how you can get the URL or the website address for your particular survey, and you can send that out via your own channels, WhatsApp, Teams, anything like that. And we've also seen how you can distribute that through NewZapp using the standard email editor. And then we've also taken a quick look at the reports you can get, whether it be a nice graphical overview with bar charts, donuts, bullet points, that sort of thing, word cloud for text-based answers, and table views for the ability to export it all back to Excel and crunch through that data at your leisure when you want. Has anybody who's joined us today got any questions about that at all? Nope. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that gave you a quick overview of our brand new feature. We hope you dive right in there now, start building a few surveys, and let us know your feedback. That's what we really want. We want to know how they're working for you and how we can make those better for your day-to-day communications. And like I say, thank you so much for your time, and hope to speak to you soon.